Hey everyone, welcome to season 2, episode 8 of the Living Life podcast. I'm your host, Liv, who's living life. And right now, life is a bit like sorry, rip headphone users, including myself. Why is life freaking crazy right now? I don't understand it. I'm scared to breathe and go on social media. Everything is just literally so terrifying right now, and I just can't cope with any of it right now. From politics, what I'm going to get into today, everything is freaking insane. And then I complain, I'm freaking summer's so boring. But then I freaking know that as soon as school starts, I'm going to be missing doing nothing and just chilling and relaxing, because I know as soon as I start junior year, my life is going to go up in flames. I am so scared. I'm scared for junior year. I'm scared for college. I'm scared for the future of the United States of America, guys. What is going to freaking happen? There is so much that is just so scary and freaking frightening right now that I'm just all over the place, and I don't know anything that's happening. But like I said, I'm currently about to enter my junior year of high school. Fuck. That's the only word I have to describe it, is fuck. What am I going to do, guys? I am shitting so many bricks. I think this is going to be a little shorter episode. I feel like I'm on the grind, guys. Right. It's currently July. Last time I posted was in June. But we're just gonna ignore that. Okay, you guys get what you get. Hopefully this year, junior year, I'll be a little more consistent. There's a lot of things happening in the works right now, though, guys. So you just gotta bear with me, okay? I'm trying here. I'm doing my very best. I'm doing the best that I can here today, okay? The song "Hate It Here" by Taylor Swift has just been playing in my head on repeat, which I think is very fitting, because I do hate it here. What am I going to do? I don't know if I'm going to make it out of this year alive. Truly. But then I'm thinking, okay, junior year is said to be the hardest year of high school. What do you mean, guys? Every junior I've talked to has been this is the worst year of your life. You're so fucked. You are just going to be miserable all year. Oh, thank you. I'm so excited. Truly, I'm just so excited for it. It's going to be the best. What do you mean? And then I'm okay, junior year can't be that hard. Come on. It has to be fairly easy. It's still high school. Guys, it's still high school, right? High school is hard enough on its own. I don't need whatever junior year is about to throw at me on top of that. But me personally, I had a really, really good sophomore year. Sophomore year is probably the best year of my entire life. It just felt so teenagery. I'm okay, sophomore year, period. So I'm okay, I had a really, really good sophomore year. So I'm okay, I'll just use junior year. I'll just use junior year as what I built off of sophomore year. But then I'm thinking more into it. I'm wait, guys, I don't think it's going to be that simple. I think it's going to be a lot more of academic stress and a lot going on stress-wise and socially-wise, because personally my 9th grade year was really hard socially-wise, not academically-wise at all. I didn't do anything academically. I had a really great GPA. I think my GPA was probably a 4.0 because I didn't do any school. I didn't do any school, bro. It was awful. So I think it was really hard socially rather than academically. And then my sophomore year was just really great socially. It was just the best year ever for my social spirit and my social butterflyness. So I'm okay, junior year is probably going to be really bad for academics and then good for social. I'm it's just going to do a flip-flop, okay? And then so story time real fast. So in my sophomore year, it was in the fall semester. I forget if it was beginning of the year. It was not December. I think it was maybe November-ish. And I did not get into NHS, National Honor Society. Okay. So I did not get into NHS because I did not make GPA, okay, which is really, truly unfortunate. I did work my way, though. I did work. I just convinced the teacher to get me into NHS. So I did get in, but I didn't make it. I cried in the car for 2 hours straight on the way home. I cried all the way home from school, and then I stayed in the car for 2 hours, bawling my eyes out. Okay. So I'm like, if junior year is like this, oh my God, what am I going to do? I cannot sit in my room crying every day because of these grades, okay? I just scheduled for our junior year. So at my school, we create our own schedules. It's actually the biggest pain in my ass ever. I thought I was going to throw up, have a heart attack live in this bed right now. I thought I was not going to make it out alive. When I tell you, I was sitting here, the scheduling links opened. I literally saw my life flash before my eyes. I was opening them so fast. I was looking at my notebook. I was looking at my computer. I was like, this, repeatedly, over and over again for I think, so we take 7 classes a term. So it was like 4. I know, actually, I'm really bad at math, guys, so I'm not going to calculate it. But it was a lot. It was a lot of work. And I was just sitting there, my sick to my stomach, about to vomit everywhere. It was not okay. Thankfully, I came out of scheduling alive. I was number 1 schedule. I got every single class that I wanted. I got it all perfect. So I was so happy about that. I know a lot of my friends, they were 3 seconds behind. None. Gone. Because everyone wants free periods, 4th and 7th period. So I got those most of the time. And then I know my friends, they were trying to apply for that because that's what worked with their schedule. Gone. You couldn't get it. So it was literally terrifying. And I know for psych classes, like psychology, no one could get into psychology classes. It was fighting for your life trying to get psychology classes because apparently all the seniors took them really fast. All the seniors just want to get it because it's a really freaking easy class. Let me tell you, I worked my ass off in that class. Let me tell you, I did so much. I created a whole freaking slideshow thesis, okay? Let me tell you, it was gorgeous. I added my personal socials on there. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I got an A- in the class because he didn't grade anything. There was no final. There was nothing. I was like, oh, so I did all this work for what? An A-? So I did email him. I emailed my teacher. I was like, hey, so I literally did an entire slideshow when there was no final. So can you please raise my grade up? He's like, oh yeah, I'll totally do it. It's still an A- in Power School. So I'm like, I'm like, what is going on here? No. I forget where I was going with that, but I think I was talking about scheduling. So yeah, scheduling. It's so hard. I think it literally gets harder every single year because I've been doing it since 8th grade. And I'm like, it's only gotten harder, really. I thought 8th grade was hard. No, babes. This year was hard. I just don't understand it. I just don't know what's going on. There's just so much happening. Besides that, so my classes, that's what I was going to talk about with scheduling, is my classes. I don't want to jump the gun too soon, but I think most of my classes are fairly easy. I don't want to say that, though. I really don't want to say that because I know I'm going to jinx myself, and I'm going to get in the first day, and I'm fighting tooth and nail. I'm fighting for my life trying to get any work done because last year, sophomore year, I was not on top of it. Let me tell you, I was a big slacker. I slacked left and right. I literally didn't do anything pretty much. I was like, oh, why am I not doing better in school? And then wouldn't do anything when I got home. I wouldn't study. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. The only time I would study was for the finals. And then I didn't get a good grade on the final because I think I passed. No, I passed every single class last year except for one. But that was the hardest math class I think you ever take at my school. So I'll give myself some grace there. So I like didn't do anything, and I was like, why am I getting such bad grades? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Girl, you don't do anything. So I need to make a new routine this junior year so I can actually be an academic weapon, guys, because junior year is the year to lock in. What can I freaking say? You have to lock in junior year or you're fucked. Like, you can't do anything. Like, you're screwed, guys. I truly don't know what else to say because my sophomore grades were not the best. They were not the best. I mean, they were okay. They were probably the best grades I've ever had, but still, they were not good. They were not to my expectations because I was feeling okay about my grades. Okay, but barely. And I see my friend, and her worst grade is an A minus. Okay. I'm going to need to take a step back here and reassess my entire being. Because what do you mean your worst grade is an A minus? My worst grade was like a B minus, and that's a barely passing. So at my school too, our passing grade is a B. So you have to get an 80 or better to pass a class. So I was always like B minus period, 82, get that 82. And her worst grade was like a 92. I'm like, okay, what's happening here? We need a full factory fucking reset. A whole factory reset. I can't stand James Charles, actually. I'm like, I can't get over like the pedophilia of him, but he is pretty funny, low key. I can't argue with that. So yeah, and I've talked with all my friends about junior year, and none of us are prepared. None of us are mentally prepared because I don't really think we know what is going to happen going into junior year. Everyone's like, oh, it's so hard, but I'm like, is it just hard because like SATs, ACT, like, is it just hard because of that? Because I'm like, okay, if it's just because of that, don't call me crazy, but I think I got it, guys. I think I don't got it. I really don't got it. The most I've done for studying for the SAT right now is buy a book. Have I opened the book? I kind of grazed through it. That's as much as I've done. So when people are like, oh, I'm getting tutors, I'm like, oh shit. But I have heard, I'm like, oh, you just like take the SAT and ACT once before to know where you're at. Okay, so if I get a 100, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do, guys? Like, at 1,000, I'm so screwed because this is actually so embarrassing. But on the PSAT, I got a 900. That is so bad. That's so freaking bad. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing here? Anyways, I digress. So junior year, I feel, is just crucial. Is just critical. Personally for me, but I feel like low-key for a lot of people because junior year, I feel like, is what colleges look at the most. In my humble opinion, I don't know much on that, but I think that's what it is. So not only do you have the college pressure, which I will get into college, but it's like this year kind of determines everything. And me personally, I don't really have a lot going for me at the moment. I don't really have a lot of extracurriculars, right? My grades are subpar. At least I'm a varsity athlete for 2 years and going on 3. And by the time college comes, I'll be a 4-year varsity athlete, which is great. But, I feel like right now I don't have anything. So I'm like, everything is on junior year. It all starts on junior year. So I'm like, oh, so I literally have to kill myself for this year. And I know a lot of people who got into great schools, like great colleges at my school, but I'm like, how much did you have to sacrifice to get into these great schools? You know, like, did you have to give them a rib and a leg and an arm and your firstborn child? Like, is that what you had to give them to get into these schools? And I'm like, how much did you have to sacrifice in high school? Like, because I'm not trying to have a horrible time in high school to get into a good college. Trust me, I know college is very important. And I feel like I'll get into college, but I feel like you should have fun in high school too, and not just kill yourself to have fun then in college, you know? Like, I feel like you should always just be living in the moment, but still, I need to get into a good college. So, sorry, quick angle change, my bad. So, let's just get into college. Like, let's just, oh, that looks bad. Let's just get right into it. What? I've been doing this podcast for what, 2 years now? Probably like a year if you really think about it. And why do I not know what I'm doing still? This is totally off topic, but like I feel like I'm really still new to this. Like I know what I'm doing, but like I don't know what I'm doing. You know. College. Okay, college I think has consumed my entire being at the moment. That's all I think about. That's all I spend my time like breathing about. Everything I think about, everything like I do and now like I think about literally relates to college. I'm like, this move, how could this move affect college? How could I do this to affect college? Like everything I think about is college. And I'm like, this needs to stop. Why is it so important? Like, why is college so freaking important? And like, why is it so consuming, bro? Like, why do I think about this 24/7? I'm like up at night thinking about freaking college. For what? For freaking what? So I think it comes down to like where you set up. I feel like I just need to get out of my state so bad. I know that sounds awful, but I hate it here. I literally hate it here. So I hate it here so much. So I'm like, I just need to get out of here. So I'm like, I need to figure out a way to do that. It's not like I don't hate my family at all. Like I love my family. I wish they would come with me, but I can't stand where I live. So I'm like, I need to get away from it. So I need to figure out a way to do that. And I feel like wherever you set up in college, I know this is going to sound really close-minded, but I think it depends on like where you set up in college determines your entire future. Like low-key, I'm like, it establishes connections, job opportunities, like everything. So I'm like, wherever I go to college, I'm like, that's probably where I'm going to spend a majority of my life. I know that sounds awful to say, and it's definitely probably not the right path because I know life changes, you move, everything happens, like everything moves and happens. Everything's very adaptive. But I'm like, for the majority, guys, that is where life is going to go on. And I'm like, if I don't set up somewhere good, I'm literally going to fail in life. I'm like, I'm not going to be Pilates mom. What is going to happen? I'm not going to marry rich, guys. Like, I'm like, I don't, like, just connections, I think, for sure. And this is going to sound very teenage girly, like, girl, like, can you please focus on, there's bigger issues right now. Like, people are dying. But I'm like, there's no cute guys where I live. Like, guys, there's no one good here. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, guys, like, I need to go somewhere else to find the cuties, you know the vibes, like, you have to. And also, I think for me, and I think probably a lot of other people, college is a place, I was like, college is a place where you could go fiending, like, ew, that was so cringe, please ignore that. But I feel like college is a place where you can, like, be free and, like, truly express yourself in ways, because you're away from home, you're going crazy. So I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for freedom there and like partying, because I know for a lot of people, I've seen actually a lot of college advice and they're like, in high school I didn't party, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. So I feel like college is an opportunity for that things. And I'm like, that is why college is important, guys, not education. I'm completely joking, by the way, but education too, obviously. But I'm like, education cannot really differ that much from college to college. It's literally culture. It is literally college culture. And I'm like, wherever you go, that just depends where your culture is and how you're going to do in life. Pretty much. And it's like, if you think about places like, if you think about places like Harvard and Yale and all the Ivies, like if you think about all the Ivies, really, they are going there for connections and opportunities much rather than the education. Like obviously education is going to be probably better there than like in my state, right? Or like lower state, like what's that I was gonna say, like a lower education ranking. Like obviously it's gonna be better there than it is like here, right? So there is that as well. But I'm like, how much can it really differ, guys? Like hello. So I feel like that is a big thing, and education is a huge thing. And honestly, when you graduate from college, wherever the name says, like like it shows, obviously it's gonna show value to, like, say I'm like, if it's different from, say you went to, say like Harvard, then like I don't want to say like ASU, but like what's like a really big acceptance rate, like ASU or something like that. Okay, I know ASU is also a really good college, but like if you graduate, like if you're applying for a job, a very competitive job, and people see that you went to Harvard, and then someone went to ASU, they're more likely going to pick the Harvard person because they seem more educated, even though it's like the same education. So I'm like, why is this so important? Why is college so freaking important? And why am I painstakingly killing myself every day to get into a good college? Like, I don't understand it. I'm like, I have lists and lists of extracurriculars I need to do, and I haven't done any of them yet. I'm like, fuck, like, how am I going to get ahead? I'm like, how am I going to stand out in applications? How are you going to do all of this, you know? And it's just a constant, like, ever changing battle, like, because you're always trying to look better than like than the next applicant, right? So you're trying to stand out more, so they give you the acceptance letter rather than your neighbor next to you, right? And this is also be a really huge thing too, but in my school is very small. There's only 100 kids per grade level. I don't know what the most recent one is. Wait, let me actually go check. There is only 101 kids in my grade. And we've pretty much been together since the 6th grade. I've been with these kids pretty much since the 6th grade. And if not all of them, then most of them. And I think the other ones kind of just straggled along in 7th grade. So I've known these kids since middle school. And I'm like, there is just such a competitive aspect at my school, specifically within my grade. I feel like if we think about if we think about the now seniors and the now sophomores, they could not care less. Like, truly, none of the juniors I know studied for the SAT. None of them did. None of them care. All of them are like, oh, I'm trying to get into a good college. Like, I'm trying to get into a good school. But they're not doing anything. So I'm like, what's going on, guys? What's happening? Like, what are you doing, guys? And then, like, the people below me also just don't seem to care that much. And with my grade, this also could be, I'm probably extremely biased when I say this too, but sorry, but like, we are fighting each other tooth and nail, bro. We are fighting each other for leadership positions, for literally everything. Like, we're like killing each other for these positions, specifically in my grade. Like, we care so much, and it's insane to watch, and it's insane to be in. And I feel like the competitive nature also, like, fuels all of us, because it's like, oh, well, I seem behind compared to this person, and then it's just a cycle. Like, you just always seem behind compared to other people in my grade. Like, and we're all so close, but I'm like, I think anyone would take a knife to each other's throat with the second they could. The second they could get a knife, they would slit all of our throats. Like, if the purge happened, I would not want to be in my grade, because we would be murdering each other. For example, I went to a summer program at my state college over the summer, and there was like 14 I probably should say my school. There was 14 kids from my school there, including myself. There was so many kids there. Like, so not only that, they're also, all of us are competing to get into these spots statewide, but there's so many kids at our school doing this. So it's like, even in that program, we were so fighting each other. And it was like, oh, here's what I was gonna say. So the days before, all of us, because this is pretty new to all of us, and we're like, the days before, we were like, guys, we should band together and be best friends and just always support each other in this program. The second day, all that shit went out the fucking window. We were fighting each other in their own program. We were fighting each other. Like, it was insane. We were supposed to stick together. I probably saw these people twice. I'm not even kidding you. Like, there were so many people that just, like, left, and they were like, I'm out, bye. So there was a lot of that. And I think that's, like, how it goes for my school. Like, all of us seem like to be best friends, but I'm like, telling me to shut up for kids in my school. But I know that a lot of us are just taking it very personally, and like really what's it called, like, really competitive to get into these top schools. And I know it's a big thing for a lot of kids around the US. I know this college culture and, like, getting into college is a crazy thing in the US. Like literally if you don't have a nonprofit, you're not getting in, babes. Good luck. Good luck, babe. Chapel Roan reference. Like, you cannot get in if you don't have a nonprofit, if you are not taking care of the needy every weekend, if you do not have if you don't have 6 passion projects lined up, and if you are not literally volunteering at Johns Hopkins on the weekends. Like, you're not getting in. And that's what it feels like to a lot of us. But I know, like, if we think about it, I'm like, college is not that competitive, guys. But I think a lot of it is very scary, and it's like not meant to scare you, but like it can seem a lot overwhelming than it really is. And I think we all should take a deep breath and calm down. I'm literally only talking to myself here because I just think about this all the time. I think about college 24/7, and I'm like, when I get to college, like, is that just gonna cure me of happiness? Am I just gonna be so freaking happy when I finally get to college? Because I'm like, why am I killing myself now to get in then? Like, I should also be happy now and then be happy then too, so it's a very fighting cycle, And a little quick, so my major my target major right now is mechanical engineering, because guys, I want to be a Disney Imagineer. That is so embarrassing to say, but I really want to do it. And I really want to work on like animatronics and stuff like that, because I did want to be a biomedical engineer to work for like Special Olympics and stuff like that. But I'm like, this is also good. Like, either one works. And if this doesn't work, eventually I could get my master's in bioengineering. But that is what we could do with that. So I'm like, mechanical engineering, number one, it's so competitive. It's such a competitive major, not only to get into, but it is also a lot of people want to do the major, and a lot of people will care. 3, it's like not very woman prominent. It's a men dominated major and a male dominant field, so that's also pretty scary. So maybe I have a little bit of a leg up advantage there too. And what else was I gonna say? But and then it's very competitive in the job field. Like, you are fighting in the job field. So I'm like, whole life is just one big battle. But anyway, I think I'm gonna end the episode here because I feel like I've gone on a long tangent. I was recording a TikTok today, and I ended up deleting all of the clips because I was like, what I'm saying doesn't make any sense. Like, I just went on a ramble about nothing. Like, I said nothing while saying so much. And I feel like this is one of my biggest problems. Like, I don't speak with substance. It's so bad. I don't really talk with any real value, which I think is a really big problem for me, and I probably should figure that out. So there's that. So thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. New projects and new works are coming in soon, so I'm so excited for you guys to see that. Make sure I hope you have a fantastic rest of your evening, noon, or night. Peace out.